Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your Week 9 waiver wire video. Again, there's obviously a Monday night game. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. Make sure you guys have a great time. Make sure you get lots of candy and enjoy yourselves. Now, we are going into bye week. I guess I'm going to call it bye week hell. There are 6 teams on a bye week this week, so they're obviously the waiver wire is going to be pretty busy for most folks. Maybe you're doing some trades. Again, let us know in the comments of who you should be grabbing, who you should be dropping, who you should be trading. We'll be there to help answer any of those questions for you guys. But again, there are 6 teams on a bye, so there's going to be a lot going on this week. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and that notification bell is on. That way you guys are notified. That way you guys are ready for all the start and sit videos we'll be dropping as well. Now I'm going to go into the quarterback position. The first quarterback I have as a good waiver wire pickup you may want to consider is Justin Fields. Going against the Dolphins this week, who are not great on the defensive side. Justin Fields is available in 59% of most leagues. He's had 26 points this past weekend, 24 points last Monday night against the Pats. His rushing ability has helped out, and also his completing touchdowns as well, whether it be through the ground or whether it be through the air. He has really good matchups the next 3 weeks as well, which adds some value to have him on your team. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the Dolphins do not have a great defensive team. They do allow points to the quarterback. So if you're looking to fill in with one of these 6 teams that are on a bye and you need a quarterback, I like Justin Fields a lot this week. Again, 26 points against Dallas, 24 points against Patriots. That is some good stuff. I'm not saying he's going to be phenom for the rest of the year, but he's got some good matchups coming up. Now, another quarterback you may want to consider is Andy Dalton against the Ravens. Look, he's available in 86% of most leagues. His fluctuation's gone up and down because for a while there, he filled in for Jameis Winston because Winston was hurt. Then nobody was really sure what was going to happen. But then at this point, Andy Dalton has taken over the starting job. Winston's now healthy, but now the backup. Andy Dalton's there because of his ability to be safe and not give away the game necessarily. They actually did a phenomenal job this past weekend, just crushing the Raiders 24-0. And if he would ever get all of his weapons back, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, I think it's only going to help increase his value for the rest of the season as well. Andy Dalton is typically a safe bet. He's a safe floor. He's going to get you 15, maybe 17 points in that range. So I'm not saying he's somebody you're absolutely going to need, but if you're filling in based off these bye weeks or injuries, I think Andy Dalton's a nice safe bet for you for this week. Now, as far as running backs go, D'Onta Foreman is the first guy I want to mention here. Now, I'm mentioning him only because he's still available in 24% of most leagues. I understand not everybody believes in the hype right now with him, but he's going against the Bengals, and Bengals are wishy-washy when it comes to stopping the run. Foreman has done a really good job against the last 2 games. Here's what I will say. Hubbard is supposed to be back from his injury. His injury this weekend had definitely helped Foreman really perform really well. He put up 31 fantasy points, 118 rushing yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He definitely got the goal line work. And I think that's only going to help increase his snap share. Now, they mentioned that they were going to go with the hot hand of who was really going to be the guy for them because they never really named a starting running back. Hubbard got the first game, but then Foreman had a really good game anyways, even with obviously the injury. I think this is going to only really cement Foreman as the starting running back. I think going forward for the Panthers, Hubbard I think will be mixed in. Don't get me wrong. Hubbard's probably going to get you 8 to 10 touches, which is going to obviously diminish Foreman's ability. I hope not, because I think Foreman's got some good ability and actually will be probably a nice little league winner if he can perform the way he's capable of, especially with the stretch they've got going on in the playoffs. So we'll see. But again, the fact that he's 24% available, I wanted to mention him in this video. Another running back is a good pickup is Kenyon Drake against the Saints. He's available in 69% of most leagues. Drake may again become the RB1 this week because Gus Edwards is hurt. He got hurt on Thursday's game. Nothing severe, which is good. Gus Edwards might miss a week or 2 as expected, which means obviously it now falls back on Kenyon Drake. But again, it's something to keep an eye on because obviously if Gus Edwards come back, Kenyon Drake is really no value at this point. Drake filled in really well though. After Gus did get hurt, he had 16 points that night on Thursday. He had 62 rushing yards and a receiving touchdown, which helped save the day. So again, if he does end up being the RB1 because of Gus being out and obviously Dobbins still on IR, he's a nice little fill-in. I think he'll be a nice little fill-in for you guys this week. But again, just keep an eye on the news, what's going on with Gus Edwards. Another running back you should be grabbing is Khalil Herbert against the Dolphins. He's available in 36% of most leagues. I think most people are starting to grab him. Herbert has seen an increase in touches and rushing shares, even with a healthy Montgomery. He's very explosive. He's adding a lot of value in his prospect in fantasy this week and going forward. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the starter or you should be absolutely playing him every single week, but the fact is, he just had 15 points in each of the last 2 games. He's a great handcuff for any of you Montgomery owners. Absolutely, you should have him on there. If you have the depth and you're maybe a deep league, Khalil Herbert should absolutely be grabbed because, again, I'm seeing more and more touches. He's very explosive. He's doing a really good job. He is seeing some red zone activity as well. So, again, it's hurting Montgomery's ability to really be a solid RB1 or even a high, like a low RB1, high RB2. So Montgomery's value is starting to lower a little bit, but I do like Herbert as someone you might want to consider. Now this running back right here, Jaylen Warren, is a sneaky deep league grab. Now right now they're on a bye week, the Steelers, but Warren's available in 95% of most leagues. He's slowly eating at the snap shares from Najee Harris. And Warren looks way more effective, way more efficient. He had 10 points this past weekend when they were getting unfortunately blown out. He had 50 rushing yards, 25 receiving yards. He's an absolute handcuff to any Najee owners at all costs if you can grab him. But again, if you have the flexibility to add him to your roster, or again, if this is a deep league, you're definitely wanting to grab him because I think he's going to eventually, depending on how this plays out for Pittsburgh, they may eventually just kind of sit Najee and start putting Warren in to see what he's capable of. So just something to think about and consider. So you definitely want to grab him. Now, I didn't mention any wide receivers in this video. There's really nobody that I'm going to absolutely grab. Allen Robertson was the only one I'm kind of had some consideration because of what happened with Cooper Kupp being injured in the game. There's no news yet of what happened with him, if he's going to miss any time or anything like that. And if he is, it might be just minor, maybe a week or so. But it is something to keep an eye on because obviously with Allen Robinson now becomes the wide receiver 1 for them. But I'm not anxious to go grab him if that makes any sense. And there really aren't any other great receivers. I mean, Duvernay's done pretty well with obviously Bateman out, but Duvernay's so inconsistent. Now, if you get points for obviously special teams, receive or punt return yards and kick return yards, Duvernay may have some more value, and he's available in quite a few leagues. But I didn't really want to go into wide receivers. It just wasn't a lot to really talk about. Now, as far as tight ends, I do have 3 guys I want to mention. I've got Isaiah Likely against the Saints. He's the first one I want to mention. He's available in 95% of most leagues. He filled in really well when Andrews went out of the game due to injury on Thursday night. He saw 7 targets, had 6 receptions, over 70 receiving yards, and a touchdown, finished with 19 fantasy points. If Andrews does miss some time, which is a very likely possibility because they go into a bye week after that, so they may just rest him this upcoming week and then obviously bring him back after the bye. And then that means Likely is obviously going to be a top 6 tight end, or if not top 5 going into this week, just because of the value and how much Lamar does really rely on the tight end position. So I like Likely a lot. He's actually one of my favorite and top tight ends I felt was going to have some really strong value, especially in those dynasty leagues. Evan Ingram's another tight end. He's so inconsistent, but he's available in 57% of most leagues. They're going against the Raiders this upcoming week, which do give up a lot of points to the tight end. They're actually a really good matchup for him. Ingram has been inconsistent, but the last 2 weeks had a 10-point game and a 15-point game in fantasy, so that's helped him. He does draw targets. He does get some red zone activity, so I like the fact that he can possibly give you that double-digit performance. And let's be honest, there aren't a lot of value. There's Mark Andrews and Kelsey and everybody else. George Kittle's starting to become a little more consistent, which is great, but that's it. So Evan Ingram's another available tight end you might want to consider. Now, the third tight end I'm going to mention is Greg Dulcich against the bye week. But he is somebody you should be considering grabbing, especially if you have a tight end this week and you can kind of put him on the bye. He's available in 58% of most leagues. He has seen an average of 12 points since coming into the season in the lineup from his injury. He's either seeing plenty of targets or he's got some touchdowns. He's got great matchups coming up, especially for the playoffs. So I like him. I think he's going to become more and more prevalent in this offense, especially with Russell Wilson. So I like him this week. If he's available, he's definitely somebody I'm grabbing. So those are my week 9 waivers that you should be considering and grabbing this week. If you guys do have questions of who you should be picking up or dropping, or if you have trade questions, again, hit us up in the comments down below. If you guys did enjoy the content, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and that notification bell is on. Obviously, we'll be dropping our start and sit videos for you guys this upcoming week and for week 9. Again, have a great Halloween, guys. Be safe, have some fun, eat some candy, and I'll check you guys out next time.